Welcome to the My Real Life songwriting walkthrough. So yeah, I started this song actually in a notebook, which is rare. I usually start things melody first, and I build it up from a beat and a mumble, and then I start filling in syllables to whatever the blah 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 was. This song had a very personal meaning to me. It was originally going to be called Lately, but then it just sort of evolved and took on a life of its own. These were actually the original lyrics here in the notebook. And I started immediately just coming into Logic, and I sketched out kind of the tempo. Here we go. It was just this. So I had just a simple pad, some drums, some chords, and I started tracking, and I got these.
Lately my songs are the only thing that I hold sacred. Facing my flaws, forgetting, no rehearsing, we're perfect. Let go, let go. My real life is not under control. My real life, my scars have taken tolls. I realize.
Yeah, so that's how the song kind of ended up starting. Yeah, I originally had another verse, but I decided that it just wasn't lyrically as strong enough. It was kind of the same melody, and that it made the song too long with all these parts. So I just decided to go back to that like catchy pre-chorus thing.
Thinking I'm perfect.
And then this is what ended up being that bridge part. That part is actually a mumble melody, and it pretty much stayed a mumble melody. That was the only part that I just liked the melody, so I let it ride. But yeah, so basically my process is recording in here to like a scaffolding or a sketch, just to get the ideas down, get things flowing, not fixate too much on the production as I often do. And this allowed me to write what I wanted to write, get the melodies really strong with just this loop. And then I exported these vocals with the mixing and the processing already on it to save me some of the CPU in Ableton, and I imported them into Ableton. And we'll show that file now.
Lately my songs.
It looks like I did a little more EQ work in the final just to kind of remove some of this harshness.
Lately my songs only
give it more of that lo-fi tone. Yeah, just kind of that really pretty trance sound. And then the guitars. These are the resampled ones, just pitched down with beats mode, so it gives it kind of a texture. This was the original with the MIDI. Just some really simple chords. I'm using Arctop. It's one of my favorites. Just doing some simple EQ work. Reverb really matters the most with the saturation. So here we go, we got that now. Bringing in the drums now for the pre-chorus, and this is actually, I think the time stretched. Let me look at it here real quick. Oh, just a beats down mode of the actual riff. And then we have this little kind of noise texture on top. Just gives it some brightness, really cool texture. And we got this little pad, kind of giving some top end. And then here's the lows. So we got the chug kind of. Okay, that's still additive. Okay. Layering up and processing one different.
thinking I'm perfect.
Yeah, let's let it play out here real quick. We'll dive in on the backgrounds maybe.
Overthinking I'm perfectly certain our love underneath of the surface we're hurting, I know.
Looks like just some more EQ to kind of color it from the clean vocals that I brought in from Logic. Just kind of gives it some separation.
Overthinking I'm perfectly certain our love underneath of the surface we're hurting, I know.
Oh yeah, some vocal synth. I have that in there pretty subtly, but that's nice.
My real life is not under control.
Kind of glues it together with the synth. Got some of this noise to add some of that lo-fi feeling. Just a simple little hi-hat ride here. main kick pattern here. If anyone cares, that kick is going to be available in my sample pack soon. So that's a custom one. We got this one. Pretty much this. Oh yeah, it's the same thing playing in the verse. The pads. And then the sub. And then this is actually my ukulele messed with. And I just processed the hell out of it. We can take a listen to see what that would sound like dry. Oh, it's pretty. Kind of makes me want to make a whole other song off that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't remember why I chose this texture, but I think it has something to do with where it sits with the vocals.
My real life is not under control. My real life.
No, that'd still be hard. Well, sorry, family. Next time, I'll make more stuff. Just got some piano in here. Shout out to Daym for this synth pluck idea. Pretty subtle. It just kind of gives it that swing.
My real life is not under control.
And then I have the backgrounds stack.
My real life is not under control. My real life, my scars have taken tolls. I realize that lately I've been cold. You know, just be myself, love. Just see myself in gold. I grow. Just be myself, love. I need your help to hold.
What the audio files that are missing from here are the demo acapella. I ended up pitching down to create these like crazy lo-fi, just tapey vocal effects. But then when I moved computers this year, I didn't bring that demo vocal over, and I forgot to put it in the correct folder, so it's gone forever. So that's pretty much the production. The mastering on this track was really simple. Honestly, I didn't do too much to it. I ended up doing a more professional master later, and I just decided that this mix, for whatever reason, had the vibe that I liked. So the way I mix and master nowadays is honestly different every song, and it does kind of depend on what the objective is. In this case, I was trying to kind of glue the beat together in a way that felt very vintage and analog, and then allow the vocals to kind of coexist on top of that instrumental. And so for that approach, I mixed the beat bus as almost like a master, except for the final limiting, and then I mixed the vocals as a bus, where they're just going into the final limiter though. So all the processing is done kind of on the individual stems, but they're separate from the instrumental. So this is the beat mastering chain that I have for this specific song. We're using MJUC. Love this plugin a lot. It's just a very warm, clean sounding compressor, and it sounds great on almost everything. The Left to Kiss is boosting the top end, like the very, very, almost beyond the range of human hearing. And it's dipping the brighter frequencies, the harsher frequencies. And so that gives it this very surreal sort of sound. This is just like general cleanup. This I just judged based on where these peaks were kind of coming in at. And I tried to just accentuate the right kind of area. And then we're running into a limiter here, Aom Invisible Limiter. It's one of my favorites. And we're just getting a little bit of gain reduction, not a lot, because we're going to, again, master it technically still through this master bus. So then you have the vocals in that group, the instrumental in that group, except for these few little risers and hits and stuff that I added on later. And then that's going into these mastering plugins right here. So this is, again, a little bit more of a creative mix, a little bit more of a musical mix. And so I just kind of did things on how I feel. So I had to use this utility to turn down the gain so that there would be correct gain staging through these two plugins. But that's what that is. This is Span. It's a free plugin, and anybody that's in my circle definitely uses this, and it's a very crucial metering tool, especially if you're in a room that isn't fully treated or whatever, and you need something that you can trust outside of your ears. It's essential. That one and Uline I recommend. I'm not like a sales affiliate or whatever. They're just really, really the best plugins for this in my opinion. So with Uline, we're measuring a lot of the loudness profile of the song.
My real love is not under control. My real love.
And the song's pretty bass heavy, so it definitely hits some loud numbers. But again, we weren't really worried about a specific target in this case, but I just have them by default on my channel in case I need to, check something out. This song is special because it's one of the first songs that I've written that happened lyrics first and made it all the way through to the end of the process like this. Normally I start with melodies or a catchy musical idea, but this was strictly off what I wanted to say. The process in the end with the mixing and the writing was a little bit different than it is on my other records, but that's why I want to walk through each of these records with you so that you can see the process and how it varies from song to song depending on the style and how I came into it with what inspiration. There are no rules, and rules are meant to be broken, so here we are. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't checked it out, there's a lyric video for this song, so if you enjoyed this, yeah, do the usual, man.